Orlando, Florida. Community remembrance. Orange County, racial violence in America. Thousands of black people were the victims of lynching and racial violence in the United States between 1877 and 1950. The lynching of African Americans during this era was a form of racial terrorism intended to intimidate black people and enforce racial hierarchy and segregation. Lynching was most prevalent in the South. After the Civil War, there was violence. There was violent resistance to equal rights for African Americans and an ideology of white supremacy led to violent abuse of racial minorities and decades of political, social, and economic exploitation. Lynching became the most public and notorious form of terror and subordination. White mobs were usually permitted to engage in racial terror and brutal violence with impunity. Many black people were pulled out of jails or given over to mobs by law enforcement officials who were legally required to protect them. Terror lynchings often included burnings and mutilations, sometimes in front of crowds numbering in the thousands. Wow, many of the names of lynching victims were not recorded and would never be known, but over 300 documented lynchings took place in Florida alone. Researchers estimate at least 33 in Orange County, the most lynchings of any county in the state. 2019, the Lord is bringing that great judgment, man. There's a recompense. You're going to have to pay for these crimes, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You're going to have to pay for these crimes. So, your doom is sealed. There's a recompense. The rape, robbery, and pillaging, shedding innocent blood, killing our people. But this is prophecy. Israel going into bondage for 400 years. The Lord is about to get ready to judge these nations. These nations are finished, man. Okay? They touched the apple of his eye. The apple, we are the apple of his eye, the children of Israel of the 12 tribes, particularly here in America wilderness, America, Babylon, the so-called Negroes. Shalom Israel, shalom Judah, shalom.